there is bullish and then there is extreme bullishness. And there's a large investor, a billionaire investor, that is now taking a bet, or willing to take a bet, a really bad one, that Bitcoin is going to go up to $1 million within the next 90 days. I want to talk about that, talk about what's happening in the market. If you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, I really appreciate that. To be clear, I am a big bull on cryptocurrency, but I'm not even this bullish on crypto. I don't think Bitcoin's going to go up this much in the next 90 days. So don't give me hate in the comments. We're just looking at what's happening in the news here today. But hit subscribe so you can see future videos that are time sensitive. There's a lot going on right now, so it's important to stay updated. Turn that bell notification. And let me know what you think about this all in the comment section. If you want to take a bet, you can check out the link to Margex underneath the video where you can trade crypto on leverage. Of course, only trade money that you're willing to lose on leverage. Now, Bitcoin is looking great over the last 24 hours. I mean, it's up 3.3%. The whole crypto market cap is up 3.6%. So outpacing Bitcoin a bit after Bitcoin had this big run. Keep in mind that Bitcoin dominance has gone up a lot this week. Now it's starting to go into the alts a little bit. Bitcoin got rejected just a couple times, up at about 28,000. So the one day looks amazing. Obviously, the last week has been pretty much up only since the banking collapse started to happen. If we go down to just 5-minute candles here, we have been going right up against that $28,000 mark a couple times. So it'll be interesting to see if we have another big run. It looks like there may be some squeezes here soon. If we break through 28,000, I wouldn't be surprised if we shot up pretty quickly, just like we have been over the last few days. Now, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Like I said yesterday in my video, 80% of my crypto bag is in Bitcoin. I still have some alts, but I have a lot of crypto compared to other people relative to my portfolio. And of course, I'm still diversified, but I am not nearly as bullish as this investor. So James Medlock said, I'll bet anyone $1 million that the US does not enter hyperinflation. Now, this is kind of I don't want to say a big statement, because honestly, the chances are that we don't go into hyperinflation, right? If you're taking a 50-50 bet, it would make sense that the U.S. wouldn't enter into hyperinflation, even though we're starting to see some stimulus happening with the $2 trillion facility from the Fed going to the banks. And, with the government stimulating in some ways, chances are still we don't have a blow-off inflation. Maybe it ticks up a little bit. It's probably going to be hidden behind the scenes. But now this Twitter user, Balaji, and I'll show you who he is in a second. He's taking the bet. He says to buy one Bitcoin. He says to James to buy one Bitcoin, and he says he will send $1 million US. This is 40-1 odds, as Bitcoin is worth 26K. The term is 90 days. All we need is a mutually agreed custodian that will be there to settle this in the event of digital dollar devaluation. If someone knows how to do this with a smart contract, we can do it on chain, so I can send USDC. If you won't do it, name a custodian. This is kind of crazy. At first you think, okay, Balaji's going to buy one Bitcoin. The other guy will put up $1 million, and then they'll bet. They'll bet on whether Bitcoin hits $1 million. Still a bad bet, because chances are Bitcoin's not going to go up 40x in the next 90 days. But then once you read it, he's saying no. Balaji, the person writing this, said that he will put up $1 million. He's telling the other investor, James, just to put up one Bitcoin. So he's going to put up 40 times more than this other investor. And the chances are Bitcoin's not going to go up 40x, right? So it's like reverse what would normally happen. Usually you'd have to put up less if you're the person that has worse odds, but he's doing the opposite. It's kind of crazy too, because even if Bitcoin goes up, let's say it goes up 20x, right? And Balaji, had put up $1 million US, right? He could have bought 20 Bitcoin with that, and he would then have $10 million. So he could have made so much more money. Actually, he could have bought 40 Bitcoin with $1 million, and then he would have $20 million at that point, and he'd still lose that $1 million otherwise. So if Bitcoin only goes up to 500K and this bet happens, he would still lose the bet, but he had so much Bitcoin purchasing power. So it's weird, because even if he is bullish on Bitcoin, he could have spent it towards Bitcoin. He could make so much more if he actually thinks Bitcoin's going to go up to $1 million by just buying Bitcoin instead of betting, right? So who is this guy? Is he crazy? Does he actually have the money? Well, he has the money. His name is Balaji. I'm going to just destroy this last name. I don't want to even try, but he was CTO at Coinbase. He is a co-founder of Earn. He's an angel investor. He's worth about $1.5 billion, pretty well known. And he's saying basically because of this new Fed facility and all this money printing and the fleeing of the banks, he says that this is going to cause this massive inflationary cycle. Now, like I said, this is kind of a crazy bet. So why would he take it? In my mind, I think he's bullish about crypto just in general based on his background, right? And based on what he says. But I think he doesn't even think that it's going to go up that much. But maybe he just doesn't care about the money, or maybe he's trying to grow his influence. For him, $1 million, less than 1,000th of his net worth might not be that much money. And, to get a lot of attention is worth something, right? As an investor and as just someone that's famous, right? So getting your name back in the mix, creating some noise, creating some following definitely is worth something. So maybe that's his end goal here. Maybe it wasn't just that he's some crazy lunatic that wants to bet a bunch of money and lose it. Maybe he's got some bigger plan. But still, this is kind of a crazy bet. And, I think Bitcoin will hit $1 million someday with devaluation of the US dollar, but I don't think it's going to be the next 90 days. Personally, I think it's smart to still keep some cash on the sidelines. I have some cash on the sidelines right now. I think we could blow past 28,000. Honestly, we'll probably get some pullbacks in the meantime, so don't just put all your money in crypto right now. But I think we could move up to that 28 to 32,000 mark, and then foreseeable future. A lot of people are calling for us to fall after that. I think it's going to depend on macro a bit, what's happening with banks. But I would not be surprised if the bottom's already in. And, I have some cash on the sidelines in case it's not. I'll take some profits as we move up, most likely. Maybe not on Bitcoin specifically, but on some alts if they start running. But I do think Bitcoin could run further. We've seen this in the past, and we have some resistance around 40,000 or so, 48,000. So I would not be surprised if we moved up to that point, maybe by the end of the year before the next Bitcoin halving, and then people got even more bullish from there, especially if the Fed starts, holding rates and then maybe starts cutting. If the economy looks okay still, I think Bitcoin will do extremely well. That's why I've been picking it up. Now, moving on to other news. Microsoft is building a Bitcoin and crypto wallet into the Edge browser, and it will be non-custodial. I think this is great news. I wasn't expecting this to happen, but anytime that people can get access to crypto and have their own wallet where they can hold the keys, I think is beneficial. And we have to remember too that this is not the largest browser. Chrome is used a lot, 66% of the time. Safari is 18.8% of the time. Edge is the third place with about 4.28%. So not a ton of people will use this. Maybe some people will switch over to using Edge. I think it's smart for Microsoft to do this because they can probably get more people to move over to their platform, the crypto enthusiasts, especially if they're getting this ready for the next bull run. I think it will be widely accessible compared to a lot of other wallets as well. So let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. What do you think about this bet? Do you think it's absolutely insane? I think it's extremely bullish, even as a bull. He's betting 40 times more than James that Bitcoin is going to go up to $1 million, and he has terrible odds of that actually happening. Like a 0.1% chance or something like that. And if he does think Bitcoin's going to go up to $1 million, he could just spend this $1 million on Bitcoin and make so much more money. He's basically just throwing the money away if they take this bet. It doesn't seem like this is all fleshed out or like they're actually doing this yet, but he seems pretty bullish on this. Now let me know your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.